All right, so I think we got everything cracking today. Let me go ahead and get the right screen up. I do apologize, everybody. So,
No worries, man.
all right. I think we're good to go. So, chat, let me know if you can see me. I'm gonna go ahead and log in here on my phone just to make sure I can read the chat. But I appreciate everybody coming out today. Once again, man, the live show has started. Let everybody know, Fuzz, all you guys, if you guys can see the chat at this very second. Um, I'm still pulling it up. Can everybody see and hear me? Because I know
Yeah.
we had this issue last week. So, if you hear it, can you hear me? If you're watching live right
Yep.
now, so we just go ahead and just continue on. But once again, everybody,
Yeah, you're
we are
live. I can hear it.
awesome. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure, guys, because we had this issue last week, and I didn't want no more technical issues. So we got to
I
get this
feel
thing
you.
out. We still working through this transition, y'all. So
Yeah, trust me, I understand, brother.
man, appreciate everybody working out through us. But everybody watching live, man, appreciate you guys. Hope everybody. I gotta go ahead and get the link out. I will send that out on Twitter so everybody can join. If you guys have the link, my compatriots here on the panel, go ahead and tweet that out. For me, we running by the skin of our teeth here, everybody. So I just ran in last minute. Had to get everything set up. Still trying to work it out. But either way, we here for the games. We here to talk games. Another Saturday. I know last week's show was kind of messed up because of the audio, but we'll be back. And we got a great guest here, so I don't want to waste any time diving into these topics. We got a lot to unpack, a lot to talk about this week. Once again, you guys will be seeing that link, I'm sure, on Twitter. One of my people's
Done.
compatriots here on the panel, Stagger, just tweeted it out as we speak. So follow that link. Come holla at us. Say hi in the chat as you come, and make sure you smack that like button on your way in. Helps the podcast be seen. But let's go ahead and go around the panel, the round table. We will start with the guests of the hour. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. A Lord is in the house, Mr. Cog, Iron Lord himself, man. It's been a while since we've had a Lord, exit the realm and come into the shop podcast. But every time he's here, he has fun. He makes it a party, man. We talk games. He's one of the most original, honest, just amazing guys in the community, always doing something for other people. Shout out to all the Iron Lords, by the way, David and Saab and everybody else that's associated with them.
Whoa.
Man, they show love. I was in there. I'm probably gonna be in there again.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate you stopping by today, man. I know we was running a little late, but let everybody know what you got
hmm
going on with you. What's going on in the realm?
Chilling, man. What's going on, Lords of the Shop podcast, man? Long time. So it's good to be back talking games, man. I seen Blam hit me up with he threw the bat signal up in the air. So I was like, all right, I got time today. I can
Appreciate it.
I can save the realm. Now let me stop. But all jokes aside, much appreciated, man, for the invite. Always good to talk games with you, brother. You already know that. I like your panel. I love what you're doing. And yeah, man, let's do this thing. Let's have some fun. There's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah, we got a lot. I mean, you know what? I kind of been holding on to this, man, because it's been a couple weeks since we had a decent show, just due to the transition. I know
Yeah.
Cognito, you've been as a YouTuber, you part of that, so you understand.
Oh
Everybody
yeah, it's
kind of
been
had to
tough.
make that. Yeah, it's
Oh
been
yeah.
tough. It's been tough.
hmm
So we all working through our kinks right now, but it's about the game, so we just keep it moving, man. So let's go
hmm
ahead and go around the rest of my panel. These gentlemen here are amazing. We're gonna start with Stagger. Stagger Lee, the Unirilla man. Appreciate you every single week, consistent. I would say bringing the energy, but I'd be lying.
You'd
But
totally
I'm
be
just playing.
lying.
I'm just playing. But appreciate you, man. Let everybody know what's going on with you. I know you just hit 1,000 followers already on
Yeah.
Mixer.
Again, you should say
Again,
again.
again,
Again.
again.
Yeah.
So
hmm
it's well documented. You had some situations go on, but you bounced back even stronger, man. So
Yeah, I
that
definitely feel like I came back stronger. I got more experience. I mean, I got a year under my belt streaming and just know more people and stuff like that, But you can catch me on mixer.com/stagger. Just been playing a bunch of indies lately, to be honest with you. I just, like, I know Gears 5 came out and stuff, but I've just been grinding the indies, having a good time, shooting the shit with you guys in DMs and
hmm
living life, man. That's about it.
oh yeah, we love
Glad to
it.
be here, though.
We love it, man. Another week, another show. Everybody, Stag. Go follow him, man. I'll make sure when I post show, I'll do the description. Make sure everything is there for you guys to click and follow everybody that's on the show, man. Appreciate you, Stag, for taking some time out. Now, next, we got Centurion, the newest member of the actual show, man. Quality Gamer, man, has a great channel. I'll make sure all of that's in the link below in the description. Go follow him. Go subscribe to him. Always puts on a good show. He's part of some other podcasts as well. He's got a couple other things. Got his hands in a lot of cookie jars, man. So the man knows what he's talking about. And when I want to know something about a game, like some information, that's who I go to about facts. So, I tap in with him to make sure I know what's going on. But, Centurion, let us know what's going on with the channel. Everybody can find you, man.
Well, channel's going strong. I'm always making content, but Once again, it's awesome to be sitting here with my brothers in arms on these gaming streets, home of the first podcast ever, the Shop Podcast, and to be sitting here with one of the lords of the realm, Mr. Cognito, or Lord Cognito. It's fun, man. I love doing this show every time. I may have my hand in other cookie jars, but the Shop Podcast is always going to be my first home.
Appreciate it,
Nice.
man. Thank you. Thank you. That's love. That's all love, man. That's
Love,
what we do
love.
here, man. And that's what we do this for. That's what we do this for, man. So we all have that common denominator. So we appreciate you, man, every week, man. So once again, guys, go follow him. He got a lot of great things going on. I think associated with a blog, a couple podcasts. Man, is busy all week. So appreciate you showing love. So last but not least, we got Fuzzy Pants, Mr. I'm gonna call you Cyborg now because you got the whole. He got a whole leg situation going on over there. So yeah, he got the Forrest Gump leg brace on the left leg, trying to get his thing together. But no, we love Fuzzy, man. You always, I really save you last on purpose because you the smoothest out of all of us. You know, to be honest with you.
I wish. Story.
Yeah, it's true fact. So man, let everybody know what's going on with you, Fuzz.
Hey, a bit banged up, but here to talk some games and loving life, and yeah, just man, been so looking forward to doing the Shop Podcast and got Lord Cognito on here. It's this definitely going to be a great show. Glad we're all here together, and yeah, let's get to it.
Let's get it, man. Let's dive in, man. So once again, if you're in right now, smack that like button, spread the word. The news is out on Twitter, man. That's what we do every Saturday, man. We're back today with a great show. Still transitioning, but we working it out, man. Y'all here for the news, really. Y'all here for what we talking about. So, forget all the visuals. I should probably put a blank screen up in honesty, but we appreciate you guys showing love, man. Thank you guys for coming out. So let's just dive in, man. So first topic, man, we're gonna be talking about the question of the week. You guys know, every week I do either a poll or a question. More so recently, I've been doing a question of the week. So I'm gonna pick the polls back up. I just gotta think of something. A lot of times, it just really come to me, kind of last minute. I'll throw it up on Monday morning. So be on the lookout for that every Monday if you follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me, please go follow me now on Twitter. So let's go ahead and start with the poll of the week. Now, this is kind of a odd question, So essentially what it was is game of the generation so far, but with the wrong answers only. So I got a lot of replies. The poll with the question did very well. Appreciate everybody who came and showed love and followed and retweeted and all that good stuff. Thumbs up. The poll, we appreciated the question. So let's go ahead and get the roundtables, the Shop Podcast with the roundtable guests. Let's go ahead and get their opinion on what that was. So I know Fuzz, we're gonna start with you because I know you posted. I think you posted your. Oh yeah, you actually had a couple of them. I saw that right now. So we're gonna go ahead and start with you, man. So your game of the generation so far, wrong answers only, man.
Yeah, I had fun with this one. I was kind of surprised that no one picked up one of these a little bit earlier, but the first one was, what was that? Soda Drinker Pro, which I know a lot of people used to like prank each other by gifting that as a game to others and stuff. So that's one of those games where, shout out to the dev on that, but it's like their first stab at it. Yeah, it's not the greatest game, but yeah, it's it's definitely one that a lot of people kind of got the chance to see whether it was a gift that they wanted or not. And then what was the other one that I posted? I got
Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Godzilla.
That hurts too. Low key, that hurts.
Being a big fan of the movies growing up and stuff like that, that was one of those games. It just did not live up to any of the hype that anybody had.
Why do I feel
over
like
on the PlayStation side? Well, it worked. It's just that it wasn't. They would have been better off just doing, what was it, the Rampage game where you climb up a building and smash. That was a more fun game, more repeat gameplay. The Godzilla game, it was like, I think after a half hour you were like, I don't want to ever see a Godzilla movie or even start up this game anymore. So yeah, that was just a terrible one. But yeah, those are my two games of the generation. Wrong answer only deal.
All right, man. So we have fun with this. We like to do that every now and then. I throw a wrinkle out there, man. Sometimes, we do a lot of shows. There's a lot of news out there. So I like to throw a wrinkle in it every now and then just to kind of get things rolling, get us warmed up. So we're going to go ahead and go with the guest of the hour, actually, the round table. I'm sorry I don't have no court jester or no flutes. I was running late, so I couldn't prepare. I couldn't get all of that together.
Oh, good, brother.
Appreciate you stopping in, man. So I don't even know if you saw the question. I did send you guys these.
Did see the question.
See
yeah, I did see the question. I could not respond because someone I think already beat me with the funniest answer.
Okay, go ahead.
It was a Connect game. Someone had put up the Fighter Within. I actually had that stupid game. And the fact that someone put that obscure game in, I was like, I can't beat that. That's like the funniest, fraudulent game of the year.
When did they show that off? What E3 was that? What year was that?
Bro, that was like Connect debut. Like that was when I was like all in on Connect, like just to see the tech.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they got a fighting game? They doing a fighting game? And yeah, they caught me out there, bro. Day one, I will say this graphically. Fighter was lit graphically. It was just a mess with the response, and that was when the Connect you had to kind of hold your hand up just to move around menus was just cumbersome. It was just a mess. But the fact that someone put that up and remembered this little obscure Connect title, I was like, that's literally has to be the one for me.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy because I never would have guessed that one either. I completely forgot about. I mean, there's been a few Connect games, but that one. Yeah. Graphically, you're right. I think it wasn't that bad at all. Actually,
graphically, it was lit. It was lit. It was just, again, the tech and them trying to force. I think it was Ubisoft, if I wasn't mistaken. Ubisoft tried to.
I think
they tried to cash in with like because I remember when the game came out, there was no reviews. There was no information on it. It was like a launch title right around the Xbox One launch window. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going in. And then it got caught.
Yeah, that's terrible. Terrible. Out there, butt naked. That's terrible.
Yep.
Got caught. Terrible. All right, man. Well, this is once again. I like to throw these questions out, man. So not only are these for us here on the panel, but for the guests as well as for you guys in the chat. So if you guys enjoyed the questions, man, let us know. Let us know. Chime in on those topics in the chat, man. So we appreciate everybody showing love. Make sure as you file in. Smack that like button, subscribe to the show. We are on the road to 1,200 subscribers, so we appreciate you guys, man. So let's do this thing, man. We're gonna keep it going. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to you, Mr. Stagger Lee. I don't remember if you actually commented on the poll. Maybe you did, maybe no.
I did not.
Yeah, you did not. You just okay, because you was talking shit pregame. All right. So yes, you.
Me?
Absolutely, you, sir. But either way, Stag. Nevertheless.
I had a different answer, but I realized it was wrong answers only.
Yes.
I'm going to go. I got two.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the best platformer award, we got Spencer. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it has got to be one of the worst freaking, like, it's so boring and like it's really bad. That's all I'm going to go ahead and say. It's
damn.
I mean, it's a 1 to 2 hour completion if you want achievements and you want to punch yourself in the balls for an hour and a half. So, I mean, and then for like best like not rally racer, but like motorcycle physics game, World Enduro Rally. 2 games you probably guys haven't heard of, but they're both indie titles. Mm-hmm. And I mean that World Enduro Rally, you want to listen to a lawnmower? There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude, one sound the whole time you rev your motor. It's freaking fantastic.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. That's terrible. That is terrible. Mm-hmm. That is horrible. Jesus. I don't even remember that. But either way, are those indie games? I would assume.
Yeah, they definitely are. Coming from me. Come on, man.
Come on. That's true. So let's go ahead and move on to Centurion, man. I know you I'm sure maybe you came in a little bit late on the question. But let us know what you think, man. Wrong answers only. Remember there's a twist to it. So I know what you think, man.
Oh, well, I just like to get a laugh out of everybody. Game of the generation. Let's see. There was a game called Dream Daddy, a dating simulator.
Oh, wow.
We made Addict play that on stream.
What?
Lord Attic has a stream up, y'all. Check it out, IO.
No,
We got him. We
wow.
got him. The Patreons made him play Dream Daddy, and the opening just for the opening title music is worth the price of admission.
Are you serious?
Oh my
Why isn't that
God.
on Xbox? God damn it.
Apparently, there's a director's cut or something coming.
Wow.
Man,
my
I am
God.
all in.
Wow.
So, and then obviously, I had to thought of another fun one, Goat Simulator.
That
That was
actually,
a fun
that
game.
was
That was
damn,
like
wait a
actually
minute,
good,
wait a
though.
minute, wait a minute. Now you capping. Now, yeah, you gotta come on now. We gotta back up. That's not that bad. Like I get that.
No,
So
it's not that bad,
was like
but I
a-
definitely.
it was like a. It was like a. I mean, the whole point of the game was that it was bad, right? Wasn't that obvious to most people? Like I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
I
it
remember
was
getting in one
intentionally left
time,
in
and
the
it was like the
bushes.
goat was like licking everything and flying
That's
around
bad.
and flopping around everywhere.
I go, my goat licks
I
things.
was not a fan.
Crazy. So those are some good damn. Those are some good damn. Yeah, those are good damn answers. That's crazy. That's crazy. So all right. So I had mine. So I kind of got the ball rolling. If you didn't see the tweet originally, I put mine. So I put Knack. Now this is not being like just PlayStation or anything like that, but it really was not as good as. I mean, I don't know what the expectations were for the game. But at the time, I mean, come on now. Like, so this is right. So correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. We got some, pretty avid gamers here. This game came out first, third of this generation, like first year and a half.
Yeah,
Matter of
early.
fact, it probably was launch. Was it launch?
I think
It was,
I think it was
yeah, I
launch.
think so. Yeah, I think it was like in the launch window.
I think
Yeah,
it was
with
I
PlayStation
definitely think it
4.
was in launch. So I mean, for what it was, and Microsoft actually had a lot of shit, like a lot of exclusives coming out early. So the Rise and Sunset Overdrive, all of that was early. So so yeah, I mean, the game was. It kind of reminded me of a. I don't know what the fuck it reminded me of. Actually, I'm trying to think of something that was even close. Like I don't know. It was like a Transformer. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff. I mean, it was Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know what the fuck the game was. It's hard. It's hard to really. I mean, anybody got any superlatives, any adjectives, nouns? Anybody want to chime in?
all I know is when I was on PlayStation mainly, I avoided it like the plague. Although to my demise, I fell for Drive Club, so that's my own.
Yeah, you fell into that trap. Yeah, you fell into the small hole into the big hole. You jumped over the small hole and fell into the big hole. So yeah. It was there's a lot of other games out there too now. That actually out of the games we talk about, that probably actually looked hella good compared to any of them other games that we was talking about. So you guys had a lot of fucking horrible ass answers. I dodged a lot of fucking arrows, based on what you guys were talking about. But either way, man, we're gonna go ahead and keep this thing going, man. Let's keep the topics moving, man. Once again, if you're moving in, if you're jumping in the chat, if you're jumping in the essentially the podcast, let us know what you're doing, how you're doing today. Smack that like button on your way and let everybody know what's going on. So this next one, we're gonna be talking about another funny one. So once again, I like to throw out just random topics, anything I can think of. That'll be fun just to kind of get us going here. So now this is kind of funny because what's your biggest gaming pet peeve? So it can be like directly associated to a particular game and or just gaming in general or just something related to gaming. Maybe that's something that people do as gamers that kind of irks you. So we're going to start with you on this one, Cog. I know you got the wheels turning. The Cog, no pun intended. But either way, I had to fit one of the Cog jokers in there somewhere. But either way, what are you thinking, man? You have a gaming pet peeve, something that just irks you, like as a gamer?
Oh, this. I'm glad you put this question out because it was literally something I was thinking about earlier today, based on everything that's going on with Gears 5 right now. Okay. And the thing for me, my biggest pet peeve, as grown men, we should not put so much stock on another man's opinion. At the end of the day, whatever a game reviews, if you love that game, no one should move you off your square. No one should affect your love of a title. So for me, like case in point, I'm a Destiny fan.
You are.
Like Destiny 1 was not reviewed well. The Metacritic was not popping, right?
Yeah.
I saw the potential of the game. I recognized its flaws. But guess what? I still loved the game. I've been abused, clowned, joked at. You still play Destiny? It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, I still love it. And it's the same thing as I have friends who obviously like games I don't like, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? If that man having his enjoyment and he's doing it, he's doing it up, he's having fun, yes, can I point out the flaws? If I'm asked and I say, hey, this is why I don't like it, fine. But I just struggle with this generation. People go out of their way to continue to bring up why they don't like something. And it's like, yo, once you said your piece, move on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and stop affecting someone else's love of a game. Like, that's the thing. That's my biggest pet peeve. People put way too much stock and like, oh man, Blam gave it a 4 point. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't with that, man. That's just my thing. So grown men, stay out of your feelings. If you love a game, enjoy the game. Don't let anyone take your enjoyment away.
Absolutely. That's tough. That's a big one, actually. That covers a lot. He's not even getting to like you. That's a tenth of what you could have talked about. In all honesty, you know what I'm saying. So keeping it 100. But either way, that's a great point. So once again, I always say this: you guys check the archives. Check the archives, man. I always say this: do your research. Even when I say it, please go look it up, read it for yourself, so that way you can make your own opinion about it. I say it every single week on the show, so we stand on here at the Shop Pod. So that's why we have like-minded people on the show as us as well. So we appreciate you, Cog, and that opinion, man. That hits home. I mean, I could probably end the whole topic right there and move on, to be honest with you. Either way, let's go ahead and keep this thing rolling, man. So we're gonna start with we're gonna go with you, Fuzz, the smooth operator in the cut over here. We're gonna start with you, Fuzz, as well, man. So what do you think? Do you have a gaming pet peeve? Something that just kind of irks you?
A couple of them, but kind of piggyback off of what Log Cognito said. It's expectations on games is probably the biggest thing, where you expect, I won't say greatness out of a game, but you expect to enjoy the game, and then you have other knuckleheads that are going to shit on the game no matter what. It could be the greatest game you've ever played, but somehow that greatest game is dog poop compared to everything else, whether it's on a different platform or a whole different generation of games, whatever the case is. It's I don't know, it's kind of annoying at this point. It just seems like, okay, any game that you can have fun with and you want to finish it, that should at least be held in regard of being somewhat good. No matter whether you make it your game of the year or not, it should be considered good, somewhere north of 7, let's say, or 7 or above type of thing. But I don't know. I just...
Fuzzy, man, you letting them get to you, man.
You over there flabbergasted.
No, but I
hold that 7 with respect.
Well, I wind up playing games whether others like them or not. Like I was one of those that was really a big fan of what was it? Oh man, now I'm showing my age because I can't remember the name of the game. But it was the one that had the trilogy, but it was Andromeda, the Mass Effect. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
I was a big Star Trek fan, and it kind of emulated a lot of, like, even though it was quirky to some extent, it was kind of like a whole branch of like a Star Trek, episode type of thing. So I enjoyed the game, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, the facial expressions, that breaks the game. That I can't play a game where they got googly eyes." It's like, really? Come on, just focus on the story, or just focus on shooting stuff, because that part of it was fun. But that's one pet peeve. And then the other pet peeve is the trend to have devs rush out a game broken. That's
kind of a double-edged sword, Fuzz.
Because I mean, we either wait umpteen years for the game to finally come out, and then we're disappointed because we've already moved on to whatever the next latest and greatest is, or they hurry up and get the game that we've all been waiting for out there, and then it's like, oh well, we can fix it as we go, and it's like, I'm still waiting for the loot to be fixed in Anthem.
Don't do it.
While
it's down. I'm kicking it while it's down.
But those are the pet peeves I have, and I don't foresee them ever really, changing too much. But hopefully as time moves on, devs will stop throwing out broken or pushing out broken games, or at least delay things and have a reason why they delay things.
I feel like that's kind of the publisher's fault on some of those instances.
It could
I'll
be.
agree.
There's like a Destiny 2 situation where EA or sorry, EA Activision, wrong
Activision.
company. Activision kind of was playing Big Brother over there, and not really letting them do creatively. I know COG. I know you. I know so creatively wouldn't let them let they kind of had the purse strings as well as because they were the big brother in the pockets as well. They had the purse
Right.
strings and they had the reins of the game as far as creatively. So I know.
Broken or not, this game's coming out on this date.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So
No, but those are my only two. That's all I got.
okay. All right, no, for sure. So Centurion. So where we at on this, man?
Man, at first I was gonna be like, "Oh, dudes crunching into the microphone like they haven't eaten in days" is a pet peeve, but no, we'll turn this into something serious. To kind of
serious,
right? To kind of piggyback off of what Cognito said earlier about being affected by game reviews. I love business. I love the ins and outs of business, and I'm not affected by game reviews. I loved Quantum Break. I love Mass Effect Andromeda. I love State of Decay 2. And these were all day one adoptions. I bought them day one and played them day one and enjoyed them. But the one thing I am doing is I am doing a video right now on some of the reviews that were done on Gears 5. That's a whole nother subject in itself. But the one thing I wanted to tackle on that was it's not about the fact that there's in my video, I actually show how gaming bias actually works. It's not really biasness. It's what I feel what happened with some of these reviews is gaming sites not taking it seriously and literally just letting people that had no business doing these reviews, some of these sites letting people do reviews that had no business doing the review for this high profile of a game. A couple of them came out as people wanting to make a name for themselves. Like I said, I won't mention names or anything. It's all in the video. But one of the gentlemen that did a review is actually an up-and-coming game reviewer. He's actually new to the industry, and his review came off more of trying to win a Pulitzer Prize than it was trying to take the game review seriously. And that's one thing that I really do want in game reviewing is there needs to be a little bit more integrity. If you're dealing with a game like Gears 5, which is going to be a high-profile game in the generation. We're not talking this year, last month. We're talking out of the entire Xbox One, PS4 generation. Gears 5 is that high profile of a game, and you don't need the rookies or the guys that are off on the sidelines reviewing a game like that. You need people that are reputable and have integrity so that way people can take these reviews seriously.
Can I ask you a question, Centurion? Because you're making some good points, and I'm not trying to come at you. I just want to ask you some questions. The thing, I guess the confusion I have is that I hear where you're going as far as integrity, but the only thing I struggle with is that this is how I look at things. There are games, like for example, I'm just going to use it with the Lords, right? There are games that I know Lord Addict does not like as far as game genres, right? And then there are game genres, for example, I know, Lord King does not like, right? So let's just say those game genres that they both don't like happen to be my favorite genre, right? That style of game. So if they're doing a review or not even doing a review, let's just say they come across playing a game and then they play it, right? And both of those two people happen to give it a positive response. The way I look at it is I'm already expecting those two to give it a negative response based on their past and their background, right? So I actually hold more weight for a guy who, for example, may not be an Xbox guy or a guy that may not like a cover shooter. You see what I'm saying? To me, I just think we got to look at it like, look, everyone, you're right. There are some people who don't take their job seriously. I'm not trying to negate that. There's some people who are not putting in integrity in their position, not trying to negate that. But we got to look at it as a spectrum, right? There's some people that if they give that game a high review, then I actually value it more than a guy that I know loves the brand, loves the series. You know what I'm saying? And you just want that you want to pull and aggregate all these different things and then come to your informed decision. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. There are going to be some people, Centurion, where you're right. They're going to come in with their own agenda, you know what I'm saying, and do what they want to do. But you got to look at the spectrum. That's all I'm saying. But I definitely hear where you're coming from.
Oh no, I totally believe you got to take the whole spectrum in, is just like one of the reviews. The guy was literally stating the size of his PC rig. That is mute to me. I don't care what you're playing on. Let's talk about the game.
True that. True that.
Yeah, that's a bit of an outlier.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. There's a good case on both sides. So I do. Cog made a great point. Centurion, you made a fantastic point. Stag, did I get to you? I just want to make sure I got
No,
you.
you
Stag.
didn't.
Okay, so
That's okay.
you over there. No.
Stag
So I
said it
know.
like he always
I know. Hey,
ignored.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to
Have me over
Stag.
here. Jesus. You gonna have me terrible.
I don't have anything important to say. It's okay.
Oh my god, yo! Shout out to Stag, yo. Show that man some
Terrible.
love.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This charlatan. No, I'm just playing. But either way, so Stag, what is your opinion, man? Gaming pet peeves, man.
I mean, I had a few, but like y'all got serious. Goddamn. So for me, we were talking about it in DMs today, but like finding spots in the map that you just get stuck in and you have to reset your game. It drives me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to find that spot in every fucking game, no matter what it is, and like especially co-op games, they're like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm just over here waiting to die so that we can restart this level because I'm stuck between a rock and the wall."
Yeah.
They're like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, yeah, I am. Every game, I do it. It doesn't matter." But then, like, so for co-op games, one of my biggest pet peeves would be loot hoarders. Specifically, I've been playing Risk of Rain 2 lately, and it's a shared loot system.
Mhm.
Not shared, but not shared. Like you don't share. Like someone goes open loot crate, y'all don't get that item. He does. And then like, if you're higher ranked than somebody, or like you got a better character and you could run faster forward and you get all the money crates and stuff, then you get all the little loot boxes. And it's a game that you need to work together to progress because the levels get harder and harder and harder. And if only one guy has all the loot, great, you're awesome, but the rest of us suck. You know.
Wow.
So that, and then breathing into the microphone, I cannot stand that.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
save my life. I don't care if your fan's oscillating every 23 seconds. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, Lord, can you keep it
Yeah, I
down
gotta
over
turn
there?
Goddamn
Or the ones
thing.
that got their microphone like right in their mouth, like, bro, you don't need to deep throat that. It's cool.
Wow.
Too much. Too damn much. This is
There you
why we
go.
got him, folks. This is why we got him. This is why
No
providing
doubt.
entertainment here on the show. But no, appreciate you, man, Stag. For sure, man. So I guess I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna fucking follow up with Deep Throat, but let's see.
Usually
Let's
with a
see.
spit.
Oh
Okay.
man,
We-
Stag.
18 plus on the stream, YouTube. 18 plus on the stream. But either way, guys. So for me, oh man, what is?
You could say it's like carrying me around like a backpack in the Division 2.
No, that's
Oh,
not
there
that
you go.
bad. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. Not that bad. So the only thing I can think of is the so your game is pretty much based around like a particular aspect, and that's the worst part of your game. Like, how does that happen? Like, I hate to kick us down. I mean, I love Anthem so much, but how does that happen? Like a game with so much potential, how does that happen that literally the spine, the backbone of the game is based around loot? All these shooters are. If you weren't getting loot in Destiny, I'm not playing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't getting loot in Division, I'm not playing it. Like those games would just be sitting on the shelf. They would not be played. So that's why we play the games. 99% of the people that play those games, that's why we do it, to get loot. So if that's the worst part of your game at the same time, how do you let that happen? How do you let that happen? You're building your game around that. So I don't understand that concept. To me, that's not an oversight. That is not an oversight. That's
When
being
you were asking about game of the generation, wrong answer. I wanted to say Anthem, but I didn't want to take it to that level.
Oh man,
But-
I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can do that.
But it feels like it is going to get game of the generation, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it's gonna. Oh man, unless they do something completely drastic. I mean, this is. I don't know. But either way, that's something for me that really, 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 because I just had so much faith in the game. But either way, you can't let that happen, man. That's automatic strikeout. 3 strikes, you're gone. Like I just can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. So let's go ahead and keep this thing moving, man. We rocking and rolling, man. Everybody here showing love and support in the chat. Once again, guys, if you're in the chat, not only these questions for us, they're for you guys. So let us know. Keep the chat moving. Say hi as you come in. Subscribe. Like your video. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man. So I actually felt like I should have saved this one for last, but we're going to go ahead and rock out this one for now. So Gears 5 impressions. Gears 5 impressions. So we kind of were talking about this last topic about just reviews, and I don't really want to lean on the reviews. We do that. We heard about this shit all day for the last 3, 4, 5 days. I don't want to talk about that no more. I don't talk about reviews. I want to talk about what the fuck are we playing? What are we playing? This game is amazing. What are we playing? What are we doing here? So let's talk about what we're doing, what we're playing. What do you feel about the game? We're gonna start with the Lord. Please bless us at the round table, sir.
I probably got the least experience here out of all you guys. I finally actually started playing today. It's been a crazy week for me, but I mean, off the back, it's just wow. Like I mean, when you hear about the positive things from obviously from other people that played it before you, it's still one of those things until you actually get your control on, and touch it. And off the back, I mean, I'm playing it on Xbox One X, 4K HDR. It is spectacular. And the first thing I noticed is 60 frames makes a difference with games, man.
In a shooter, in a certain cover-to-cover shooter.
Yeah, because what I noticed, like Blam, is that like I'm so used to Gears, in the plot and style, and that's always going to be part of Gears. But that 60, that tight knit, it makes a difference. Graphically, the cinematics, the set pieces are beautiful.
Oh man!
Oh, and then
the particle effects.
Oh my lord!
The sunlight, the refraction of
the lighting, the going from very bright areas to dark areas, the fire effects. It's truly amazing what the Coalition is doing right now, and I wanted to test it as my first test as a 3-player co-op. So 2 of the Lords with me, and then one was the Jack Robot, just to see how that would go. And it was seamless, man. We were rocking and rolling. He was fetching items and doing this little shock mechanic on the enemies. So I'm again only like maybe 2-3 hours in, so very limited from what I've seen, but from what I played, it's definitely a wow moment. And I guess tonight after the shop, I will actually test it on PC, because the cool thing, it's with Game Pass Ultimate, you can cross play, cross save, and then boot it up, and just to see how comparable. Because shout out to Mods Gaming, he did an article for us on lordsgaming.net where he actually put the PC versus the Xbox One X. Oh, nice. And it looked like wow, it was so comparable. So I'm dying just to test it, because my rig is pretty powerful and I have a higher CPU. So just to see what it is, and just the fact to me that the Xbox One X is that close to that level just is true software engineering, and I can't give enough up to the team. So that's all I got. What you guys got?
No, we're gonna follow up with you on this. I got something to piggyback off of that. We're gonna follow up with you on this.
Sure.
So Gears 5. So I don't know where you stood prior to Gears 5 coming out, as far as the fact that we got a lot of this we got late within the last 2 months. Essentially, all of it, pretty much everything we've seen. I mean, we've seen a little bit earlier. We had trailer D3. Won it. I think Game Awards. I think there was one. But either way, we've gotten some tidbits of information. So, is this truly a contender for Game of the Generation?
I'm gonna tell you right now. There's some games that you boot up and you just feel like something about to happen. You turn something on, you like, yo. Like, it was that for me. Again, it's early. I don't want to get too crazy, but I will say this, and this is no spoilers. I spoke to Addict. Addict, a difficult game conqueror.
Oh, absolutely.
So
shout out to
Addict. He done blazed. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Addict is the most picky, the most like, if your game got a flaw, he gonna find it. And for him to come to me, it was like, yo, Cog, beat it. So I'm like, all right, where we at? And the thing about Addict, also to preface this, is that he's very big on set pieces, narrative, and ending. Like, if your game is good, but he doesn't feel the payoff, he'll go in. And he's like, Cog, yeah, they got one. This is satisfying.
What?
He was like the last act. He was just like, wow. He said, and I was like, stop it, don't spoil no more. You know what I'm saying? He was about to get it. I was like, no. I said, if you're satisfied, I'm good. So I am very impressed, and I'm confident to say that, look, they got one, and all I feel now, like, to me, this is the greatest way from Microsoft, because let's be real, it's been a tough generation, right?
Yeah, it's been a little tough. Yeah,
It's been tough as an Xbox fan. So it's like for them to end the gen this strong just gives me confidence to say, okay, this is the level and the standard we need to maintain
yeah.
from this point forward with Xbox Game Studios from now on, because this is nice, man. It's really cool. It's good to see everybody hype, and this is the kind of momentum you want them to roll in with the next gen. So I'm pretty pumped up, man.
Absolutely, man. Great point. You hit the nail on the head once again. This game, I literally. So this is the thing. All right, this is the thing. I fucking cheated. I shouldn't have cheated. But I ended up watching like 35, 40 minutes of Ninja stream when he was streaming it earlier.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the show.
I know. No.
He's out. He's out.
Oh my God, get him back in here. No, but either way. No, so what did I DM you guys, Centurion and Stag? What did I say?
Yeah, you wanted to stop because you didn't want to ruin it.
No, but not just that. What did I say about the game? Like
that looks fire.
I mean,
graphically.
Man, I'm not even like I was sitting there. My wife was sitting there. She's like, "Babe, you gonna stop watching it?" I'm like, "Yeah, in a minute. Yeah, in a minute." 5 minutes later, yeah, in a minute. 10 minutes later, yeah, I'm gonna stop watching it. She's like, "Babe,
It's like Netflix,
dude." I swear to the pacing, the character. So this is the thing. As far as the characters goes, I'd say that was probably one of the biggest question marks going into this game because people didn't really know. Could she? I mean, not nothing as a female lead character because we need more of those to keep it 100. We need more female lead characters, but is she going to be able to live up to that standard to provide that kind of character development? Like, can you lean on Kate on a Gears in a game this big? Can you lean on her? And my God, she carried the game. Carried the game. So if you haven't played it, Game Pass, go get it. They got a great deal. I think is it still $2 2 months if you don't have it right now?
Yeah,
I think that's still the deal for right now. So you can get it, just try it out. But my goodness, Gears 5 is such a strong stride. I feel like they've improved on every aspect. I don't even want to get into the details. Just go play it. So we're going to go ahead and bounce this over to you, Stag. What do you got to say, man? What do you got to say, Stag?
I'm surprisingly not deeper into the game than I am right now.
Yeah.
Typically, I just jump on these and play the shit out of them. Just Gears and Halo are my jam. It's what I really, really love. But I mean, I love it. I'm almost done with the first act. I've really, really enjoyed it. The difficulty's good. Being able to look around for stuff is kind of cool too. More so than in the past games and finding the perks for Jack. That's been pretty awesome. My only one major complaint outside of I'm not upset that it's not 100% ready at launch, which this isn't the launch. It's just a 4-day early thing. I don't like that they moved the chainsaw to the right bump. That's going to take some serious getting used to for me, but that's really the only thing because I sit there and I hit B to chainsaw. And I'm like, that's a stab him in the head thing. That's
I had that problem too.
It feels.
Are they going to let you map it? With maybe like an elite.
You can remap it if you want. Yes, you can. But I'm trying to play the controls the way they intended it to. I try most games to do that, but I was talking with a friend today that he felt like the aiming felt a little bit heavy. I didn't notice it until he said something, and then I was playing while we were talking about it, and I was like, it does move a little bit slow, but it feels right. It doesn't feel like some games, their initial sensitivity for how the gun sways or moves when you're aiming is just all over the place. And you're just like, what the hell's going on? This feels a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah.
So it looks amazing. It looks, I've been saying it for months. Every podcast that we talk about it, we have nothing to fucking worry about. Mm-hmm. And I mean, other than some hiccups in the 4-day early thing, which honestly, going into that, when they tell me any games like, hey, you want to play our game 4 days early, pre-order it or play it in Game Pass, I'm already that's like red signals and lights to me, like, hey, this is a beta, we're just not calling it that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, this is our final test, and everybody getting super upset about it not working. I understand your pain, but calm down.
I want to play. I want to play a lot.
Yeah, I haven't tried.
Don't you tell me not to be mad at that.
People were just going crazy day one. Like, it's just I get it. Like, they have metrics, they have data, they have all this stuff, but technology is constantly evolving, and you can't always account for
Yeah.
everything that's going to happen
Absolutely.
once you flip that
Absolutely.
switch, no matter how many tests you've
Absolutely.
done
Yeah, I actually have
prior.
a theory on
So,
that too. I think that honestly, let's be real. Like the majority we're probably going to not do the. If you have to take the raw numbers, right? You would figure like the ultimate guys would be a lesser number than obviously the people
The
who are
people
going to
that,
wait next
yeah.
week. I think that they may have miscalculated from for spinning up servers from the standpoint of the pure hype and outbreak that this game was getting. Because I think what was it, Ninja Wednesday, right? We're gonna say what?
it was a day
Yeah.
before everybody
Day
else
for
was
everybody
allowed
Yeah,
else,
to. I
yeah.
think.
Ninja
Yeah.
went Wednesday. The reviews probably came out Tuesday. I think it was just the perfect. This is my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I'm just guessing. I just think they were not prepared for like that avalanche of positivity and hype, and almost
Agreed.
this Thursday Friday felt like the real launch date when in reality it was. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, it
I
makes
know
sense.
people who are not Xbox guys that were downloading that game ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So I think that could be it, just the sheer volume of it, and kind of spinning up more
That
as you
makes
service.
sense.
But I felt bad for them. I'm like, damn, they get it hard.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense because I mean that does have that. Remember, OG Destiny 1 had that issue as
Yep.
well. First day, I mean, both people on all the PlayStation, Xbox, half the time we couldn't get in the game because it was timing out. We couldn't get in the server. It was just all kind of. You remember that, COD, where there
Oh
was so
yeah.
much more
Oh
people on the
yeah.
game than I think Bungie initially thought, and they
Mhm.
had issues getting the game up and running. So that does happen. So you can't calculate for everything. So let's go ahead and move over to you, Centurion. I know, man. You was all over the Gears. Once again, we've all said this. You go once again check the archives about for the last month, 2 months. Gears is fine. Gears is good. So we're not worried about Gears. We know what's going on with Gears, and so they just. I feel like they put a stamp on it. I mean, can we comfortably say that this is probably Xbox like most complete exclusive thus far?
Mm.
I mean, there's been a lot of great ones. I mean, we like those games for a lot of reasons, but Gears is Gears, and it's one of those pillars. It stands on its own essentially. So this game, I feel like, is a highlight of the generation technologically, from a story standpoint, putting it like kind of putting it all together in kind of in a cohesive unit. So would you agree with that, Centurion, or am I overshooting that a little bit?
Oh no, I'm enjoying the game, but I'm in the same boat as Cognito. See, I told you in pre-chat like what I've been dealing with personally.
Yeah.
So I'm with him. I've played the game like 2 hours. Because I was able to turn it on for the first time this morning. Because everything else it just wasn't working out for me. I wanted to turn it on last night, but I don't know if you guys were aware, but Xbox Live actually got shut down for a few hours because of how many people were using them. And I think that was a combination of Gears and NBA 2K20.
Yeah.
Because when I stood in line at GameStop to get my Gears console, yes, I have the console here. It makes a really cool crackling sound when you turn it off and on.
Oh, jealous, bro.
Nice.
Jealous. You got that hotness? Damn.
Yeah, it's a nice console. But what also sucked is when Xbox Live went down, I also didn't have access to any of my games because I hadn't synced it yet. So I had to go get the old console out just so I could play my games while Xbox Live was down. But no, I was one of 2 people that got the console in line. There was me. I could probably count them all on one hand that I talked to that were actually picking up Gears, because there was a lot of people game passing it. I know that, but I mean, like, that line was packed with people wanting that new NBA 2K20.
Oh, yeah, 2K20.
So definitely, I guarantee you their servers were hit with a double whammy on that situation.
Good point.
But on what Cognito said earlier about Addict, telling him that the game was fire and that it was great and that there was a payoff, that's one of the things that kind of like I wanted to like we were talking earlier about the reviews. The one review that I'm actually very adamantly upset with is purely because in his thing it said that the game was empty and emotionless. In just playing the game 2 hours, I already know that's a fraudulent review. And I'm not trying to be mean like that, but every person I've talked to, every person I've listened to, every tweet I've read, every YouTube video I've watched, everybody's talking about the story. And then this guy comes out of left field with, oh, it's empty and emotionless. Did you play the game with your eyes closed and the sound off? What's going on here? You know. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'm loving it. You know, the ability to send Jack out now. Or at least with Dave, man. Like, at least at the beginning with Dave, but still with the robot. The robot, man, when you played past Gears games, you didn't even know that thing was there until all of a sudden they're like, hey, rip the door. And then a robot comes out of nowhere and opens the door and life goes on. He feels like a squad mate now. There's an emotional connection there. That's really awesome. Dude, and also if you went into the extras of the game, it has the story so far from Gears 4, but there's also a video explaining a ton of Gears lore for people that know nothing about it. For people that haven't read the comic books, read the stuff online, you can watch that video and actually get an idea of what's going on in the world and why it's like this.
Great touch. Fantastic.
Exactly. Touch. And we all talk about Mass Effect. What was one thing about Mass Effect?
Story.
The story. And just like anytime you talk to somebody or did something, you got something in basically in the menu. The codex. And I mean, like, there was more lore and everything in the codex of Mass Effect than I think there is in the Star Wars franchise. Like, those guys put some deep thought into that game, things you would never think of. And so that's where that's the signs of a great game, when you're not worried about just the gameplay, but you're worried about the entire living, breathing ecosystem that the game is representing.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's something. I mean, we talk about that here, and I knew that was one thing that, you know, from the first trailer I seen with Kate, and they highlight just her mental state at this particular point. They wanted to get you, you know, in touch, in tune with I think the tempo and just the essentially the pace of the story, and just they wanted to connect to the character. So I think they did a great job at representing that. I think they did a great job just the mood of the game, like overall mood, like where you're playing, like it's just a moody game. Like you feel alive.
Oh yeah, it feels like there's a lot more emotional connection between all anybody involved.
Oh yeah, and
it's the interactions,
the interactions as well too. Just making everything seamless between the characters, the gameplay. You don't get just these big set, because to keep it honest, previous Gears were a lot of, not say filler, but a lot of just kind of structured stuff in between big set pieces, because Gears always had, you know, big set pieces, you know, at the end of missions, beginning of missions, then there was just a lot of stuff in between. So this one is more of a cohesive, and I think they did a great job. You know, I mean, and this is one thing that I noticed. Did you guys get the transitions out of the scenes or seamless?
Oh yes, from real life gameplay to cinematics. Wow.
Oh yeah,
that's what it showed me. Unreal is out here moving, baby.
Seamless. It's ridiculous. Like, you don't even realize, you stand there like, oh shit, the game started. I'm supposed to move now. Like, because you didn't even realize that you were supposed. It's just the small things I appreciate. The time that they took to put into this game. That's one thing that I always connected with. Now, you're a big Destiny fan. I'm a big Destiny fan as well. You already know this for the lore. I'm a big lore Destiny fan, and that drew me into the game. Even when people were kicking it in the ass, I was still playing the shit out of it because I was just drew to the game and the lore. I'd watch YouTube videos about the lore and the backstory on the characters and the weapons and, you know, and the raids and all this other cool shit. That got me hyped for the game, and it just drew me in. So I think they did a great job with this one. So we're gonna go ahead and Fuzz. I know, man. I know you've been waiting on this.
Oh yeah, Fuzz.
I'm saving you.
Forza down. Did you put
Forza down? He put the Forza down. He put the Forza down.
Make sure
for a little while, at least temporarily.
I mean, I'm gaming.
Yeah. So
I got it too.
Where are we at on this, Fuzz?
Oh, like I said, with even the tech test, the graphics on this thing are simply amazing. The atmosphere, the lighting, the shadows, the darkness, just the visual aspect. Like, I'll be honest, I'll call myself a fraud. I never really played any of the earlier Gears. Gears of War 4 was my first Gears. But, you know, with that being said, this game has got me interested. It's Gears of War 4. The only thing that didn't draw me in more was that while I like cover-based shooter, I'm a big, you know, Division fan, it just felt a little clunkier. This one's definitely a lot smoother. The other aspect of this game that I like is that I can roam around the map. Like, it's not just a corridor you can only take this path. You can only go up these stairs. No, you can go a whole bunch of different areas. And I like what Stag was saying earlier. I'm the guy that usually gets stuck between a wall and a rock. Yeah, because I'm exploring every aspect of the map, looking for collectibles and everything, and just looking at like the sheer detail that they put into this game, whether it's you know, little bugs crawling on the walls or just the remnants of the bodies or the aliens and things that you've killed. Just all of the little details of what got me drawn into this game. I don't think I'm past the first act yet, or no, maybe I'm past the first act, but I'm not like past like part 2 or something of the second act or something. But just it's like you said, you can see how it's seamless between the cutscenes and gameplay. They did everything in the engine, and there's times where it's like, why can't I move? Oh, it's a cutscene, and then it's like, then like you said, after the cutscene's over, you're stuck standing there, and when you're supposed to be moving, it's like, okay, all right, I just like how it's not like a loading screen or that you can clearly tell, oh, this is a CGI cutscene. No, it's like what you would see in the game, and the level of detail that's in the game was just that amazing to begin with. But I'm definitely enjoying this game. Not a normal or typical Gears fan, but it's a game that's got me drawn in. Loving the graphics. I have yet to listen to any of the reviews because, like I said, I don't. I try not to listen to all the nonsense on this.
Let them steal your joy.
Yeah. I just want to enjoy the game, and that's what I'm doing right now. And eventually, I'm gonna, be brave enough to start doing some co-op stuff because I know my aim still sucks on this. It doesn't quite have. Though I'm not as comfortable using some of the targeting on this game just yet, but I've already got the robot built up so I can at least self-revive. So, so for all the times when I fail on the harder difficulty, it's like, okay, at least I can pick myself up. But yeah, this game is fun, and I tell anybody that's not normally into a third-person shooter or a cover-based shooter, give it a try just for the environment alone, just for the story aspect and the interaction between the characters, just at least that part. Put it on easy mode and just go for the story like some people like to do, just to kind of go through it. But I would say just the level of detail on the maps, the characters, the whole nine has got me, set. So
and I think
that's why
the biggest thing here to realize is that, and I feel like everybody here in the chat that's watching, everybody here on the panel can agree with, a lot of people were saying, what could we possibly get out of a Gears franchise at this point?
Right.
So it's not the gameplay, it's what can we get out of the franchise overall? What kind of story are we going to get? Where are they taking this? Because a lot of people had questions. That was their biggest question. Where are they taking this? Like, where are they going to go with this? I mean, we kind of 4-3 kind of ended on these high notes, this and that essentially. Where are they going with this? And where are they going with Kate? That was a big question mark. Yeah. Why are they handing the keys over, to the franchise to her? Is she going to be able to carry it? And she carried the hell out of it. She ran with it. Excellent voice acting as well. The emotion of the characters. Just visually, and shout out to Snoopy. I don't know if you're watching, but was it Snoopy? May not have been Snoopy, but somebody put out a tweet of that opening scene where you're rappelling down into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And man, my God, like that thing is it looks like you're watching BBC or damn Discovery Channel or something. Real,
it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Whew.
It's amazing. And I know, Kyle, you said you've been playing the 4K 60, so you get the real visual.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, 4K 60 HDR, it's mind blowing, bro. It's truly, like when you cop a system, those show off games.
Yeah.
Like that's the game you bring your man over, like, yo, you never see, check this out. It is just like, wow, like I can't believe, I'm still in awe how they did it on the X. Like it's truly wizardry, and also just shows me how great Unreal is. And that's why I said I can't wait to actually, touch the PC version just to see, because the X, I'm like, yo, this is right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like this is right there. So I can't wait, man. Yeah. I can't wait to get back to it.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
You guys talk about seamlessness. We've all been past the first act in the first chapter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I meant like for me when I saw seamless, it was when you're in that silo room and there's enemies just shooting at you everywhere. The AI is going crazy. You got fire raining everywhere, from the floor up and everything.
Crazy.
And the frame rate isn't missing a beat, at least when I was playing.
Yep.
Crazy.
Facts.
Insane. So that's, I mean, shit, I should sit in the show on that. We got one more topic. Holy moly. All right, man. We're going to try and keep this one under another 20 minutes, hopefully. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up with Cyberpunk, man. And I wanted to talk about this last week. Didn't get a chance to talk about it, man. But everything I'm seeing from this game is crazy. Like that in-depth deep dive video. I know, I think Centurion watched it last week. I know Fuzz watched it. Stag probably watched it last week as well. I believe we were watching it pregame before all of that stuff happened on the show. But I want to talk a little bit about that because mouth been watering to talk about what do you guys think of Cyberpunk. Obviously, we know it's coming out next April. I believe. I can't remember the exact date. Is it the 16th, somewhere in that range? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But in the teens somewhere. But the game looks amazing. We have huge expectations for the game. And we're going to start with you, Cog, about what do you see? I mean, I don't know if you saw the deep dive video, but the amount of shit they're stuffing in this game is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Just the level of like customization, the character development. We've seen a ton of that too, but just the interaction is on like a different level. Everything is just about interactive in this game. So what do you think? Have you seen that video? And when you saw it, what do you think?
I got confession. I got to put the full alert on myself because I purposely stayed away. The reason why I stayed away is because, the Lords, we were out there at E3. We were lucky enough to get a closed door behind the scene demo of it. Okay. And that was probably about maybe 30 minutes. And I was blown away. I was just like, this is next level kind of stuff. Now, from what I read, it's a lot more. They expounded on a lot more stuff in this latest one. It's just that I'm at the point now, like, usually when there's certain games that I know I'm going to love the game, right? So I was like, okay, I've had my fill. I don't want to see too much more else. But from what I remember, it's like, man, the thing about this game that I love so much is there's so much diversity in the way it can be played.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can have the same scenario with a different attribute or a different character type or different choices. And to me, the reason why I love the game so much is because this is what I'm expecting BioWare to be doing, right? This is my classic Mass Effect stuff. And like the game completely changes itself. And I can't wait, man. I literally can't wait. Just the classes itself, just the way you can change your background, how that affects choices, things of that nature. I know some people have some like gripes, I guess, about this whole
the gender thing.
Yeah, the gender thing. I mean, that's one thing, but I guess the other thing I heard people were griping about was like the third
first person.
Yeah, and I'm like, it was always advertised as a first person game. You know what I mean? So I didn't never look at it as any type of negative thing. And I think what threw people off is because of the cutscene. The first one that they showed initially with the game, you were in the car with your man, you got shot or whatever, and you saw your character. But look, I get it to some extent because of the customization. You want to see your guy more. I get it. But the game was always first person. That's how I always looked at it. So that doesn't affect me personally. I'm not going to not purchase the game because of this information. And as far as the other stuff, the gender stuff, it's like, that stuff to me is just is trivial. Like that to me is a non-issue and not something, again, is going to prevent me from getting a game. But yeah, that next year, 2020 Cyberpunk, man, that's one of my most anticipated games. CD Projekt Red is on it. They just announced free DLC, multiplayer. Like, come on, man.
It's crazy.
Yes, I'm ready.
Crazy. So we'll definitely see more from this game. And once again, this is another game that I just think that like everything they show from this game has been a hit so far. It's been a home run. They haven't missed anything. So let's go and throw this over to Stag, man. I know. Let's get your opinion on what do you think about. I know you saw the video. I believe you watched it last week. So what do you think about just from what you've seen so far?
I just watched the new one today, actually. Okay. But man, it looked fire. What I really liked, the takeaway I had from it, was the different character types. Like I was watching and it was like they were talking about the solo. Yeah. I was like, oh shit, that's fire. And then they started showing the Netrunner, and I was like, well, this really isn't my thing. I'm not into the stealth aspect. And then they showed all the different things you can do with that Netrunner, and I was like, wait. Oh, shit, I might have to do this stealth style. I did want to interject a little bit, and you talk about people being all butthurt, just straight up about the fucking male and female not being like, it doesn't say that in the game. Like we all watched that video. That dude looked like a dude, and that chick looked like a chick. And on top of that, like, this is set how many X amount of years in a fictional whatever future.
People got cyborg bodies. Come on,
cyborg
interchangeable
fucking
parts.
modifications and neural implants. And at what point does the line of sexuality blur? Not like who you want to have sex with, but just like are you even human anymore? You know, can you be considered a male or a female at what point of augmentation are you no longer a human and you're now just a cyborg or something? So that was like I actually got into a debate with the Sesh Empire about it, and he ended up walking me over it. Yeah, I was just kind of like trying to clearly like, how does this change your gameplay and why does it affect you so much? I don't understand. Like, is this a non-issue? But back to the game, like the branching storylines and like how every little conversation you might have might take you a different way. I really like the fact that none of us are more than likely going to see the exact same game, and the replayability of starting a new game and seeing where this choice takes you, kind of like Mass Effect did, but it seems like it's incredibly deeper. And I really love the Mass Effect series, except for driving that fucking Mako. The class trees look incredibly deep, and I really look forward to figuring out like what works best for me versus how you like setting up your tree, and just it really feels limitless. So I'm excited. It looks amazing. I might even get it on my PS4.
Holla.
Oh wait, there's achievements. No, I won't.
Crazy. But either way, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. What do you think about? I know you watched it, I believe, last week. What do you think about it?
I'm excited, man. I mean, like, I really have been intrigued since this game, day one, since I've seen it. Like Stag was saying, the difference between playing the game stealth and assault. I'm pretty sure I might just go for the assault one, just because I just love, it's one of my things about control. Nothing like walking into a room and just feeling like a badass and just leveling the entire place. But definitely, I'm really looking forward to this game. It is the story aspect that we've all been looking for since the Mass Effect franchise and games like that. I've even seen other videos where a dude was like wall running with a sword and was able to throw himself at people and like impale them with the sword. There's just so many different mechanics about this game that we could go on. You could have a whole show just talking about this game on how it's going to be different. And then, like hearing you guys talk about how people are just up in arms over things about the game, like the first person thing. Guess what? Halo's a completely first person game, but there's cutscenes where you see Master Chief walking around. You don't get to see Master Chief while you're playing. You're in first person. And then on to the whole gender thing. I like it when games try to incorporate things that are going on in the world today and try to like show what the future of that could be. Right. So definitely that's one thing I love about entertainment is it's a way of like we were talking earlier, looking at the whole perspective, the whole situation. It's definitely a good route of looking at the way society is going, because look at it, like, interestingly enough, like growing up as a kid, everybody was smoking cigarettes. Now all of a sudden they got e-cigs. So like we have figured out even how to incorporate technology into smoking cigarettes, and the technology is just growing into our lives. So I can only imagine what the future would be like if there ever was augmentation.
Yeah. And like you said, that's a great point. You said, I mean, look how far in the future this game is. I mean, come on, we can push the envelope a little bit. We're not expecting, Chevy Novas and shit to come, pulling up, and Pintos, and people that have, gas ovens and stuff. So we're not expecting it. So I'm like you said, that's a non-issue for me. Like Cog said, I don't really even that wasn't even in consideration at all. I don't care one iota about that at all. But the game has so much to offer. So Fuzz, Well, I
Yeah.
wanted to get your opinion, man, about what you saw, and I know we've been talking about this game for a while now since the
Oh
very,
yeah.
very, very first time it was revealed and we saw it. So, what do you think, man?
I just can't wait. I mean, the only thing outside of the video was the whole online thing, which I remember they had talked about. Oh, we're looking to hire some people for that, and people were like, oh, they're not going to do online. And the fact that they're getting into, I guess, the early phases of building it and stuff. It's great. I just hope it doesn't wind up being like Grand Theft Auto Online. But aside from that, everything that they show, the different approaches on doing a mission or the different abilities that you'll be able to,
Hmm.
fix for your character and stuff like that. I just can't wait.
Hmm.
The whole, orientation stuff, I don't care. I'm gonna pick
Yeah,
the
that
character
ain't
I
gonna
want. I'm gonna try to make a character look like me in the game. As long as I
happen.
can do that, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I'm
Wait,
gonna
they have
have
couches in the
blades
game?
coming out of my arms, even better. But yeah, I just want to have a game where I can, make something work stealth wise, but if stuff goes sideways, be able to go loud or just slice people up
What
with
y'all
the
doing,
built-in.
brothers? What you doing? You doing solo? What you doing? Tech nut runner? What you doing? Which class
I
got your eye right now?
I think I'm going to wind up using tech and try to do
Mm.
I
stealth
knew
in the
that.
beginning,
I
and
knew
then
that.
and then if things go south, it's like, all right, we got to get the blades out the arms and start
Nice,
slicing people type of thing. But
nice.
but yeah, I just can't wait for this game. It's like April just can't come here soon enough, and
Yeah.
yeah, they might get a delay, and that's all well and good. I know they're going to release a well made game,
Yeah.
and the free DLC is just the icing on the cake. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I already pre-ordered it. It's already whatever the pre-order placeholder on my X1X. It's already there. So
Yeah.
I countdown begins.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
absolutely, absolutely, guys. So I mean, this game is just amazing, and I mean, they're doing so much. They're doing so much over there, man. We talk so highly about CD Projekt Red and what they bring to the game and what they did with Witcher, and I honestly think, I think free DLC at this point should just become a normal thing.
Oh,
Like,
damn right.
I think that should just be normal. Like that shouldn't be something that's taboo and everybody's like, oh my god, like. We've seen that the games can still be hugely successful without, paid DLC. So it
Mhm.
works. You have to have a game obviously that's good enough to carry that, but we see it working nowadays more often than it used to. So I hope that becomes the industry standard going forward, so that we can see more people, be able to play this extra content, on these games
Yeah, man.
without having to pay any money. But either way, I believe I got to everybody. Just wanted to make sure I did. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Normally, I would, grab a couple of questions at the end. We'll go ahead and wrap everything up. So I appreciate you guys every single Saturday coming out. This has been a great return to the show.
Mhm.
Always great to have Cog. He's out of the realm in the shop. He's in our realm over here in the shop podcast. Appreciate you, brother, for coming on so much, man. I'm gonna go to the round table, make sure everybody says what's going on with them, gives their goodbyes and all of that good stuff. So once again, guys, on your way out, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to more subscribers, man. Appreciate you guys' love and support every single Saturday. You know where the place to be is here, 6 p.m. AZ time. Be here, man. You guys always show up, show out. So let's go ahead and get to our special guest, man. Appreciate you once again taking some time out, spending a little bit of time here with the fellas, man, hanging out
Yeah,
in the
man.
panel, just enjoying the show, man. So every time you come out, you just bring a lot of energy, man. This is let's keep it 100. It's one of the favorite guys I enjoy in the community, talking
Thank you,
behind the
brother.
scenes as well as just he's so wholesome. A gym rat. Don't get me wrong. He's a fierce guy, but he's fierce in a good way. He's fierce
Thank you,
about
brother.
video games as a craft. He takes it very serious. The man is extremely knowledgeable. There's not a generation that this man doesn't have information about. This probably not a
That's
game
that's
or a
that's
console.
talk
So
for that's humble talk for
yeah,
he's old.
yeah,
All
man. I'm
right.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
find. You fucking it up, man. Shh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, but either way, we appreciate you coming on, man. Let everybody know what's going on with you. I know you got a lot going on in the
Thank you.
realm. These gentlemen are always moving in the community. So what you got going on, man? Let everybody know.
First of all, Blam, thank you so much for the invite. It's always a pleasure here. I love this panel. You know I love what you're doing. I'm always going to support you guys as much as I possibly can. Positive guys, good group, funny, like Centurion. Stag got me laughing today. So salute to you, brothers. Keep it up, man. Just stick with it. We know this YouTube thing's a grind, and I really enjoy coming, talking with like-minded individuals, some positivity, some laughs, just having a good time. I always support that kind of podcast. So Shop Podcast is definitely doing the Lord's work. So that's first. Second, you already know every Sunday is the Lord's Day, man. You know how we do. So we got special time, y'all, because even the Lords must bend the knee to NFL football.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
no more 1
buddy.
p.m. for a little bit. We're gonna go 11 a.m. Eastern. Probably do it for about 6 to 8 weeks before Attic and King start strangling me and crying about they don't like getting up that early. But yeah, special guest tomorrow will be Tobias.
Nice.
Ron Williams, community manager and PR manager of War Studios. We're going to talk about the success of Kingdom Come Deliverance, how now they've gone to the Royal Edition, they're in Game Pass. They've got a lot going on. They've got a new title coming, Iron Harvest. I want you guys to check that out. We'll do some special announcements as well as some giveaways. We got a Gears 5 giveaway that we're going to be announcing our winner tomorrow, as well as a Borderlands 3 winner. So please check that out if you guys haven't already got in. I think it still may be open at the 11th hour. We'll see. I think midnight is when it stops. So if you guys have not, go to the Iron Law Podcast Twitter account and check that out. Sign up if you guys have not joined in to try to win yourself a copy. And yeah, man, that's it, man. You already know on the channel. Again, for the Destiny guys, I know Blaine's a Destiny guy. If you like Destiny talk, you have the last word with myself and Ebontis. That's every Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And if you are a statue guy, you already know who the king of statues is, Lord King David. He's got those crazy collections, man. I can't keep up with that, man. I don't even try. But yeah, check us out, man. Iron Law Podcast. You already know what it is. And again, Blam, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. We got to get you on the realm in time, man.
Yes, man.
You're ducking and dodging, man.
Look, man. Oh, man. It gets crazy around here, man. Around this part. But I appreciate you taking a little bit of time coming out. Once again, it's always, this dude is like family, man. So, Cog, he's always open invite to the show anytime that man has time. Anybody in the realm, shout out to everybody over there, David, Attic, Sav, everybody. Appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody got to come on.
I guess I
think I got two of y'all on before. I think Sav's been on.
Oh, Sav's been on. Oh, good.
It's you and Sav. I think Attic is down.
You got to get Attic and King. Yeah, we get them.
So we got to get him in here. But either way, man, appreciate you taking a little bit of time out the realm.
Yes,
I know it is in good hands while you're away. The gates are not open, everybody. No Trojan horses getting in the realm. We ain't doing
you heard that King ran.
We not doing no Trojan horses in the realm, everybody. That bitch getting burned at the gate. No thank you. All right. But either way, man, appreciate you coming in, man. Let's go ahead and move this on to Stagger Lee, man. One of the most consistent dudes, amazing streamer. Once again, I'll make sure I put that information down in the description below. A very deliberate human being as well. So you got to take this man very seriously, all right? Very seriously. Anytime you encounter him, whether that be online or Twitter. But I appreciate you, man. He's one of the funniest dudes I've met in a very long time. Just appreciate his spirit. He's always lighthearted, very, very factual, very informative as well. So appreciate you and your family as well. Great dad, great family man, which I appreciate more than anything, honestly. Just a good person in general. But either way,
you.
come on, man. It's that check you've been paying me, man. You forgot about it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. I'm upping my rates. But either way.
Oh, shit.
But either way, man. So, no, yeah, good. Let everybody know what you got going on. Once again, I alluded to the fact that you hit 1,000 followers in about 2.5, 3 months or so. A lot probably quicker than you got the first 1,000.
July 6th.
Exactly. So, man, let everybody know what's going on with you, man.
Oh, man, I'm just doing my thing, streaming, working on making better videos on my YouTube channel because I'm just getting into editing my own stuff and recording some videos for a lot of indie titles and stuff. I'm here once a week with you guys, but my main focus is just bringing more indie titles to the forefront. I love AAA and AA, but like indie titles just don't get enough love, so I try and focus on that as much as possible. I got a pinned contest going on for all you Borderlands lovers. If you go to my Twitter page, I got 4 masks I picked up at PAX West that I'm giving away on the release day of the game. So, other than creating content in that contest, I don't have much else going on but hanging out with you guys and shooting the shit.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you, man. Once again, taking some time. Go follow that man on Mixer, man. We need another 1,000 in 3 months. We need another three. We
Mhm.
need another 1,000, 1K, and by what, January, February, somewhere around there, somewhere in that range. So we're gonna get there for sure, man. This man is one of the most honest dudes I know. So we appreciate him being on the show, man, being a part of it. So we gonna go ahead with you, Centurion, as well. I know you got a lot going on, man. Newest member of the podcast, man. Once again, a real dude. This is where I go for my facts and when I need to double check what I'm talking about to make sure I'm in line. I hit up Centurion like, hey man, what's going on? We got some dates, we got some timelines, and he'll pull it up. He got it on speed dial, so I already know what's going on. But either way, Centurion, let everybody know what's going on with you and what you got going on. I know you got a blog, you associated with a couple podcasts, you got a lot of hands in cookie jars, so let everybody know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Well, I do run my own blog called legionofgamer.com where I post a majority of my stuff outside of YouTube. I do have my YouTube and Twitter channels, Centurion1307. You can also find me on various podcasts. You guys are always my first podcast, my first home on Saturdays. But on Thursday, I sit down with Salty and his crew.
Shout
And
out
on
to Salt,
Sundays,
man. Shout
I'm
out to
with
Salt.
Invader and all them on TXR.
Nice. Shout out to Invader.
Nice.
TXR. That's one of the OG podcasts.
Oh
Low
yeah.
key.
Oh, I mean,
TXR.
I was
Yeah.
completely blown away when Invader hit me up asking me to join. I was like,
That's
oh,
what's up.
dude,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's what's up. There's a bunch of
So,
great guys over there, man. OG gamers,
legends, man. A lot of
legends
legends
over
on that.
there. Shout out to
Absolutely.
TXR. I know Doc was part of it. I think was Doc part of TXR for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Doc
That was the
was.
whole
That was
thing.
Southside. There was a couple
That
other
was like
people.
the all-star team at one
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
point
for a
too.
it's
minute,
right now. It's Southbound.
Southbound. Yeah,
Let's see, Invader, Southbound, and Tim
Right.
Dog and
yeah,
Megatron are the
Megatron, yes.
originals,
yep.
and they brought me and Shockley in as the new
Nice.
cast members.
Nice.
Nice.
Shout out to everything going on over
I
there
gotta
with
check that out, man. I
TXR.
haven't checked them
Yeah,
out in a while. I gotta check
yeah,
them out, Centurion. That's what's up.
yeah.
Yeah, they just started. They were on a little bit of a hiatus there for about a month
Yeah.
or two, and he just started last Sunday again.
Okay.
Oh, so
For
he
sure.
got the young blood in there. Okay,
Yeah,
all
so
right.
once
What's
again,
going
man,
on?
making waves in the community, man. If you're not following Centurion, man, don't miss it because he has a lot going on. It's been super informal. I know he has a big video coming up for gear, so be on the lookout for that. I'm sure that's dropping extremely soon, probably within the next couple of days, if not, tomorrow even. Who knows? So
I'm aiming for Monday morning.
Monday
I'm
morning,
hoping that we
okay.
get back tomorrow and finish it because
So
I'm going to the hotel here in a minute.
got it for sure.
Mhm.
So you have fun where you at, man. Enjoy yourself. But he's bringing the heat on Monday, so be on the lookout for that. Go follow him. Let Twitter. Keep in touch. Stay in tap.
Starbuck want to know his
Yeah.
link to the channel. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
good.
yeah. So make sure, yeah. So send that. Matter of fact, I'll even tweet it out either or. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. I'm sure you can get everything in his bio. Go follow him on Twitter. I'm sure that's pretty much a hub that a lot of us work off of. It's just easier. It connects all of our social medias, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff as well. So go follow him on Twitter. You'll be able to pull all of that up, man. But we appreciate you coming on, taking some time every week like you do, man. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. Shout out to your wifey too for letting us rent you for a little while as well, man. We appreciate that. So let's go ahead. Last but not least, smooth operator, man. I do this on purpose every time. I really don't mean to. It's subconscious at this point. It just happens. It really just happens. So I mean, Fuzz. I mean, what aren't you
Yeah.
doing? But let everybody know what's going on with you. I mean, I know you kind of little on the injured reserve right now, but I know you're
Yeah.
still doing your thing. But let everybody know what's going on with your Fuzz.
Oh yeah. Man, it's so great to be back here on the podcast and everything, and talking games with you guys, and I'll be working from home for a little bit, at least until I'm okay to drive and whatnot. But despite that, being a bit banged up, definitely glad to be talking games. Definitely glad to be here with you guys. You can catch me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. PSN Fuzzy_Belvedere or Xbox Live Fuzzy Space Belvedere, playing like right now Forza, and probably be diving back into Gears 5 here in a little bit too. So, man, awesome show as usual.
Oh yeah, as usual, man. This is great. This is something that sometimes I take for granted. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of us here have been on podcasts, but we honestly, this is something that we really, really get an opportunity to do. You know what I'm saying? Like every single week, and sometimes I feel like we take it for granted. I know, Lord Akag, I'm pretty sure you've had those
Mhm.
moments of clarity. You're like, damn, I kind of take this
Yeah,
is what I'm doing for granted. The
absolutely.
being able to sit and have these opportunities to speak with these great people
Hmm.
and share our just thoughts, what I'm saying, with the community
Yeah,
and how we feel, and people really tune in and really care about what we're doing. So for me, I'm always humble. I always try and stay humble. A
absolutely,
lot
bro.
goes on. I try and be consistent as much as I can. You know what I'm saying, to be honest. But I appreciate every single weekend we come, we talk games, and you guys always show support. So I'm always on
Facts.
Xbox. Hit me up there. PTK Blam
Hmm.
across the board. Twitter as well. Follow me there. Once again, so just make sure you guys hit me up everywhere. Let me know what you guys want to see from the show. Any ideas? I'm always open to constructive criticism. That's fine. I don't matter. If you don't like something, let me know. I do my
Hmm.
best to figure it out and make sure you like it the next time the show is on. So we appreciate you guys. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, man. Once again, next week, same time, same place. Like the hell out of this video. Share the hell out of it as well. Get on Twitter right now. Share it. Let everybody know this is what we do on the weekends, man. Shout out to everybody else doing a podcast throughout the weekend on the weekend. Appreciate you guys providing information, for a lot of these, gamers out here. But we appreciate you guys so much. We wouldn't be anywhere without you. So see you guys next week, same time, same place. Peace out. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Take it easy. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.